All right, welcome to the Whoa There podcast. You ain't gonna do it? All right, whatever.
Oh, I got you.
So yeah, it's your boy Josh. This is part 2 of the relationships episode that we did back in Valentine's Day. We got a lot of reviews. It was like, 400 or something views on there. A lot of comments. People wanted to hear more. So here we go. We back. And we got 2 female guests as well. We'll introduce them in a second, but we're gonna start off with
Justin.
Kay.
Brian.
Lex.
Devion.
All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna get started with like an easy, light question, just kind of get things flowing. But actually, it's not that light. I thought it was a good question to start off with. What do you guys think about separate bank accounts or joint bank accounts?
I believe in both.
I don't think they can hear you.
I believe in both. I definitely believe in both. I've been engaged, so I've had separate and joint bank accounts. I know the struggle that sometimes a joint bank account can be. I think it definitely is dependent on a person and how sound they are financially, their view on finances. All of that plays a role in how successful or how much of a headache having joint bank accounts can be.
I agree with that. I had separate and joint, and most of the time it ended up just being separate because our money priorities didn't match. So
Yeah, rainy day funds all day.
Anyone else?
I'll go, man.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
There we go. I believe in. Are we doing this based off like marriage or is this like a relationship? Like that's a difference.
Let's go marriage. Marriage.
Both. You should have like I guess like the main expenses or I guess most of the money goes for the important things should be in a joint bank account, but everybody should have their own personal just in case, if I want to go buy something, I should have my money to do what I need to do with it. Nobody should say anything about it. So, and same for her.
I think marriage makes it very different. I was engaged, so it was a different time frame. But when you talk about marriage, is there a such thing as my money at that point?
So
I already do that.
I'm just saying.
You're just speaking from like
yeah.
I'm
engaged.
speaking from when I was engaged.
But you're married, you have one account.
Marriage. I mean, I think you do what works for you, and that's different for everybody. But
So I don't think
I don't
When you say you say the collective.
for what works for the individual or what works for you, meaning your relationship, your individual relationship. But I don't. Again, I spoke from the experience of being engaged to someone and having joint and separate bank accounts and not having matching goals.
Isn't it also like
finances.
that's what you should be on the same page though, right?
But if I'm married to the
married,
person, I'm not married to
should be
somebody
one.
I don't agree to. Exactly.
So if
And
you're
then
gonna be
there's
one-
you guys have to come up. I think that you have to have these kind of conversations before you agree to have it. Like one of my friends said that they had a limitation. Like if it was beyond like $300, $400, it was a conversation that needed to be had, regardless of whose money or whose account it was coming out of. A conversation needed to be had after a certain amount
Being spent.
was
I agree
reached.
with that.
Justin, you was in a relationship. Did you guys do separate or joint?
Oh yeah, we was with us dating. It was separate, and we were vocal about our spending habits and what we put in. Well, it was our own respective bank accounts. So I mean, I wasn't counting her pockets, and she wasn't counting my pockets. But if it came to a goal that we were trying to attain that was based off of money, we were open about that. But
So basically, everybody should contribute a certain percentage, I guess, to the joint.
because my situation, like with us dating, it wasn't a joint account. It was 2 separate accounts. We were like if we were putting together toward if we put money towards like a down payment or something, a collective goal together. That's when we would probably be on the same page as far as putting money into something. And that wouldn't be money in a bank account. That would be money us just putting money in an envelope.
Yeah, but don't you need? Well, I'm going based off like my parents been together for like 30 years.
Right.
Like they got separate bank accounts. If my mom want to go spend money on a laptop or go do something like that, she can go spend it. He can't really say anything about it because as long as everything is taken care of, they're fine. But at the same time, it's like just be real. Like people need money to spend on themselves. Like I'm not necessarily when I'm saying like my money. I probably shouldn't have said that. It's still our money, but if you make 30 grand a month and you get 5 to spend it, you get 5 to spend it.
So is it all going to
Yeah.
one bank account at first and then being distributed?
Oh no,
No.
my personal check should be going to my personal bank account.
Yeah.
And if we
So like,
have,
I just want to know like where the bills coming from. So like there's
That
a
should be
mortgage.
joint.
that should be joint. That should be joint.
But see, it just
Really?
depends on
Oh,
what.
I think it just depends on the agreements that you guys had. Like, I was married, and it just was like, you take over this part, I took over this part, and we just kind of handled it. I'm not saying that our marriage was perfect, but I mean, because I think like other people would look at it and say like, okay, y'all was living more like roommates or something than y'all was living like, if I'm saying I'm covering this and and you're covering that, but I mean, that's just what worked for us in order for there not to be a lot of issues with the finances.
I was gonna say, like, you brought up the 300 and 400 example, Kay. So I was just wanting you to elaborate more. Did that mean if I want the PS5, you had the power to veto?
It was the power. It needed to be a conversation about like, is that an
Would that
agreement?
lead to veto though?
It
Is
depends
that
on that
ultimately-
person. It depends on that person. But I was just saying like in an example, like y'all should maybe discuss y'all whatever, maybe create a limit, like maybe 500, 600, 1,000, and then if it goes past that, or if it's something that you want that goes past that, like what if it's a car, what if it's like whatever, then it needs to be a conversation before like someone just rolls through with a new car and you're like, WTF.
So can I chime in on that, because I think the limits and everything you're talking about, I understand how that may work conceptually.
Yeah.
But when we talking about differences in what people earn and money and what I'm bringing in
Thank you.
versus what
Let's
he's
get to that.
bringing
Let's get to that.
in, let's talk about that,
I wanna hear
because
about
that
this.
makes a huge difference.
But it's one,
And-
you're joint, you're a union, right?
Yeah, but if
So I
I'm
just
bringing
think that's a
in,
little,
but if I'm bringing in, let's say I'm bringing in $200,000 a year, he's bringing in 85. At that point, like, and this is more about what Brian
Yeah.
said about veto power.
Mhm.
I'm making more than twice what you bring in.
Yeah,
You're not gonna
but-
veto me buying a PS5.
Uh-huh.
Like, that just wouldn't work for me personally.
Mhm.
So I just think those limits and things like that, yeah, we can have a discussion, but I don't know if I agree with veto power when.
But I don't
I never said veto power. I just
Yeah,
said
no.
discussion.
I'm more just speaking of
Yeah.
like what he was saying. Like, I don't think that veto power is really fair. Like, if you earned it,
Well, yeah,
go
I
get
was
your
in
PS5.
agreement. You know.
separate bank accounts.
separate bank accounts. That's what it sounds like.
But I mean, even that can come into creating drama. If maybe the finances are not where another person feels like the finances should be, like they're saying like we should be saving up for this, and the other person's like, well, if I got it, I'm gonna spend it. Like that's two different ideologies that are
Right.
going to eventually gonna clash, regardless of if you have separate bank accounts or not. If I see you coming through with a PS5 and I'm like, dang, I'm over here taking money out of savings in order to cover our bills, then that's a problem.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that's a fact. Absolutely.
That's a fact.
So I guess on the line, when we gonna move on from that.
Yeah.
On the lines of that, so it's pretty much the. I don't want to say this like this, but like the breadwinner pretty much to you makes it seem like they make the
No,
most.
no. I
Yeah, because what if I made 200,000, you made 50, and I told you couldn't have it?
I mean, I think again, it just depends on what works for you. So for myself, like I'm an attorney by trade, so my earning potential, stop.
Yeah, you have a ceiling.
It doesn't necessarily have a ceiling, especially depending on
Unlimited.
both of y'all. So no, so I'm not about to sit here and play with. I told you to be on your best behavior today. No, but so if I don't really have a cap to my earning potential, if I play my cards right, I'm not gonna say like, oh, if my significant other makes less than me, then like I make the decisions, because it still should be mutual. And if you're talking about marriage, I think relationships and marriage are different.
Yeah.
If I'm dating you and I make more money than you, that's fine, but I will spend my money how I want to spend my money. We not one at that point. If I'm married to you, it's very different, and I'm going to honor my partner. But Again, I think that's just conversation based.
Okay. So I'm glad you brought that up because I kind of want to transition to one of the other questions. It was basically asking, do you not take someone seriously if their finances aren't what, where they would like it to be, or if it's like a person, maybe working at Walmart, or
That's subjective.
like, do you not take them seriously because of their finances?
I don't care what makes, honestly.
Honestly,
So you don't care?
No, because I'm pretty much gonna take care of
When
everything.
you got it like that, you can say that.
Well, yeah, I'm in a
Just
position
saying.
I'm in a position where I can say it. I know
Yeah.
that, like,
I think when you have it like that, you can say that. But then also, I've been in the position of like when I sat for the bar, like I had to walk away from work to do that.
Mhm.
So it depends on the circumstances of that person's life. If someone's still in school, I mean, all of us are kind of more or less at the age where someone could still be going back to school possibly. So if a person's in school or has left a very detrimental or traumatic relationship, like I had to bounce back financially after my engagement because of decisions that were made not by me. So all of those things I think need to be taken into account before I can say, ooh, I can't take you seriously because you work at Walmart or you this or whatever.
The question that I created, it wasn't like that. It was more like if the finances, meaning like you guys are dating or whatever, but in order for you to take like that, like I guess like next step, I think I was just kind of just saying like finances, like if you know that they coming in with however much student loan, how much in credit cards, like even dating, like are you even willing to take the idea or think of the idea of marriage knowing that this person
No.
might not have their stuff together?
So you're saying no?
No.
okay.
I'm not going to take on $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 in credit card debt.
But what if you generally love that person and you can map a plan through? Debt is debt. I mean, you just saying that's a deal breaker?
As someone who has tried and failed, it's a little. I mean,
I was gonna say, assuming somebody else's burden, and especially a financial burden, that's a hard thing, especially if your platform is not completely sound. You can only help yourself out as much as you can help yourself out until you lend a helping hand to somebody. Then they start taking from your pocket.
Yeah, boy.
But
If
is
you're
it-
making $400,000 a year, she bring 50.
They got a lot of
But
people like this.
like,
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people making six figures, or we can keep it
and
simple.
you could still be house broke.
Yeah.
Well,
House broke.
They're
car
not
broke.
financially literate, and that's the problem. So
Agreed.
Agreed. But
I'm speaking solely from somebody who's financially literate.
I'm just thinking
I
statistically
agree.
speaking, when we think about people of color and like how we have the most student loan debt, you're eliminating like probably 60 to
Student loan
70%
debt
of
is
the
completely
people.
different from credit card debt,
Okay,
or you
okay.
are in an Aldi and you don't have a pot to piss in.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's,
Those are two completely different
Okay,
things.
I get what you're saying.
So you're in the sense of like bad debt.
Yeah,
Versus-
irresponsible
and
debt.
financial value.
Exactly.
there's
If
So
you
at what
went to medical
point-
school, I can't be mad.
At what point in the relationship do you start discussing like the financial
Just
values?
I feel like that takes time because I mean, I'm not gonna go in the first date like, so
What's your
how's
credit score?
How are
You
things
should.
financially?
You should.
You could, but
you
then
can't.
I feel like
Because if the
Through
dude was
time-
like, I'm a 540, would you be
Through-
like,
But the thing
Through
is, you can't get
dating.
that full story through the first date.
No.
No matter how much you talk, you only gonna get a snapshot.
That's true.
Yeah, you
it
ain't gonna
takes.
get that
I
full.
feel like when you're dating, it's gonna take months, and I mean, eventually you're gonna start to catch on to stuff like,
See, I
something
think
ain't adding up right.
You
You got a lot of bill collecting mail right here. You gonna look through that?
the red tags is going on.
Oh, okay, that ain't no problem.
No,
Then
and
you
it's
kinda just
hard
back
in this. It's hard in this.
It's gonna
world,
take months.
though.
If you're thinking about marriage, I mean, you don't want to jump into that. I mean, I feel like if you dating,
No.
and you dating for a purpose, it's gonna take you a while to really get to know somebody to be like, okay, I want.
But to me, those are not like I could be bogus, but I don't really care. But I think if you're going on a date with a woman, she asks you like, "What's your credit score? What's this, and this?" And you kind of ashamed
Think
to
she's
answer,
serious,
You
like-
should get gone.
So I think
So you shouldn't date until your credit score is
Until
appropriate.
and that's the
honestly, you
thing.
should wait until you're financially and emotionally
yeah,
available to
I agree
date
with
anyways.
that,
If
yeah.
you can't take me to
But you
dinner,
know what
shouldn't
though?
dating.
Wait, because that's not true. Because there are
That's
some
so-
people that level other people up. Like I know certain women that like to build guys up.
I've
Okay,
done that.
that's
And you've done that, right?
You know for a fact.
All right.
How'd that
So,
work out, though?
and I know a lot of girls that do
Exactly.
that.
I gave him his ring
But
back.
it's just
so that don't
But
work.
what I would say
That's
is,
pointless.
what I would say is also, it is
It wasn't
what Josh was saying. It just
I
depends
feel
on
you.
how much you truly love someone, because I'm not sure people who are familiar with my family background. I'm definitely don't even think that he would even mind me mentioning this on camera. But my uncle spent a significant portion of his life in prison for what he chose to do. He got out of prison, and credit score wasn't too high. He ain't really got much when he getting out. Then he got married, met a woman, and her credit score is up. Now his credit score is gaining traction.
But that's a
It's-
different
That's
scenario.
a different
bro. He
scenario.
got
What I'm
the
saying,
pen,
what I'm saying
he's
is,
starting
what
at
I'm saying
ground
is
zero.
it just depends
You know?
on if you want to take that on.
Yeah, because everybody got to start somewhere.
But this is
You
the
can't
thing.
I took it
We
off.
live in
Judge
a
someone.
different society. Like you talked
Yeah.
about your parents being together for 30 plus years, right? I think about my great grandparents literally were till death do us part, and they were married for over 65 years before my great grandmother passed away. So when you look at longevity and relationships back in that time, or even like relationships from the 80s or 90s, like our parents and stuff, the world was different. It is not city boys being up 1,000, city girls being up 2,000. Like
But
the conversation is different. People's intentions were different.
So is longevity measured as success? Because I know a lot
Not
of older
necessarily.
couples that sleep in separate
No,
bedrooms
that's not what I'm
and can't
saying.
stand each other that should have got a divorce a long time ago.
But that's not what I'm saying. What I am talking about is from a culture
Let's be
standpoint.
real.
In part, very true. Certain kids don't got the same daddy. All of that,
Yeah.
and people stay. I understand
Stay
that.
together.
Or you didn't have them. So I'm not saying that like old relationships were perfect, but what I am saying is that the time that we were in is very different from the intentions and
So-
the culture of dating and marriage now.
Yes or no,
I
would
agree.
you be willing to build someone up now after your experience?
After my experience, it would be a little bit harder for me to do so, but it would still be circumstantial. Agreed.
But that credit score thing, I'm in real estate, so
You can fix it.
That's a quick
Fixable. Yeah.
$89 a month gone. But it's a difference of, if I have $50,000 in credit card debt, I run a business. So it's like
Right.
you can, so that's what I'm saying, like it's certain things you can ask, like, analyze what I'm talking about. So it's just like,
Yeah.
you can do that, but at the same time, it's just like, credit, especially in real estate, people like to use that to where you discriminate against it. How much you take care of your credit score is a good reflection of how you are with bills and how you are at times. So that, I'm not saying you can cut somebody out necessarily because of that, but you're not coming into a life partnership trying to build somebody in that sense. Of course y'all gonna grow together. That's common.
given.
So
But
when you date somebody, the first thing
Yeah.
you think, are you thinking like, ooh, I wonder what
I'm
their
wondering if
credit
they're
score, I wonder
broken.
what
No,
their job is?
that's a part of like a bigger thing. So I'm more so worried about, are you broken? So you can be broke, you can have these things, but you are whole as a person.
Yeah.
So if you're whole as a person, the rest of that stuff you can fix. But if you're broken, all these things like that, that's where the real problem lies. So, and if I was taught, like the men pretty much take care of everything. So if you come in and you can't build,
That's the old
Yeah.
old gender role.
and I don't care, but it works for me. So
If that's what he likes.
that's what I'm saying. Like, because right now, if my girl took care of it, she paid for all the bills. You a house husband, I don't respect that, and I'm just keeping it real. It might work for other people, but I don't think that. So
No
you can-
disrespect to the house husbands out there. Y'all
Yeah.
keep doing y'all
You
thing.
can take it however you want. So in the end,
Mama.
yeah, I'm just keeping it real. So in the end, it's like if I can fend for myself and I can feed myself, if I can't do that for 2 or 3, then I shouldn't be in it.
Boom.
That's all it is.
Don't date if you are not financially capable of doing so or emotionally.
But the thing, let's be real,
available.
y'all. People do it all the time.
People do it all the
And what's
time.
the
and that-
divorce
what-
rate and why are people getting divorced
50-50.
because of
There's-
And
finances?
how many
But there's-
single parents?
But there's
do you
people
have?
that are financially
You know,
straight with
I hate,
divorcing.
I'm gonna try to quote this. It was a meme, not a meme. It was a tweet, and I hate going back on this because it's just a tweet that somebody tweeted. It was Lil Baby tweeted, "Money will make you get the girl that you want, but being broke will make to get you. I'm saying it wrong. Being broke will keep the girl around you that you need. And the thing is, so when you establish in a relationship, it's a little bit different standpoint when somebody builds you up when you were at the bottom. You can look at different. If you already come into a situation when you got your funds and everything, but like I said earlier, the platform, you got your platform already established. It's not really I don't think it should be a first date topic. If you coming in with your money right, you're trying to get a feel for somebody. You're never gonna get somebody full history off a first date. So like asking that on a first date,
you don't even know if you like them.
That's the thing.
Really
like,
don't.
But that's just like those like I ain't asking about what your mama.
It's like
a killer.
So
like,
so
you
since,
know what I'm saying? I'm not asking like deep dark secrets.
I want
It's
to
basic things.
delve into what you were saying.
Yeah.
So okay, so I'm again gonna speak from experience. So in my past relationship where I was engaged, when I met this individual, their finances were not in order the way that they appeared to be. So I wholeheartedly believe in the idea of people in their interview selves. And you get that interview self, sometimes people hold up that interview self for a very long time. You know, you might get it for the first 6 months, you might get it for the first year, you might get it for the first 2, 3, 4 years. You might not know somebody until you really know somebody. Which is a true thing. And so
true.
I'm just saying.
So true.
And so when you talk about building someone up, when I was in that relationship, I was going through studying for the bar, right? That did not go as planned, and I didn't pass the bar the first time I took it. I missed passing the bar by 3 points, which is a very, very small margin. But it cost me a lot of money to go back through that process. Stop. But I agree 100% with what you said in the tweet that you referenced, because from not passing and having to go back through that process, I learned so much about him, and it didn't work out. And had I passed the bar the first time, would I have met this person's true self, or would I have still been in this interview person that was not what he was all cracked up to be?
The thing about that too, so, and our preference is, I got 4 sisters.
Okay.
So, I got literally aging.
You've seen a lot.
50 to 27.
Okay.
Women miss that a lot. Like, we can go in and see a girl for who they are.
Instantly.
Be done. It don't take me months to figure that out. But women, I've seen, and it's from my sisters. I'm going based off my sisters, not
No, because I have something I got
and
to that.
Dudes do a good job of hiding who they are, and then they sell women dreams, and they buy into those dreams, and I think
that's not always what it is,
bogus,
because sometimes, because y'all talk about this whole idea of what building a man, right? Yeah. Sometimes if you are trying to be that down, woman, and be very supportive. Again, I'm just throwing this out here. I'm just throwing it out there. Or to be supportive, or to not just throw the baby out with the bathwater with, different things. And this is just going to take me to a whole nother point. But when you're trying to do that, and sometimes it's not that we get sold the dream, sometimes we ignore the signs.
And
you may ignore the red flags because
you
love somebody. You don't have to sell me a dream if I'm really not actually trying to look at
what
it is that you're actually selling.
That's what I was trying to say. Like, I don't miss the red flags. So when I see them,
I don't miss them either. I didn't miss them either.
I'm saying I don't choose to
I may
ignore them.
have chosen to ignore them.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of women
here
like to do that, and they like to women I think they like projects, and sometimes, and I think
women love projects.
Who doesn't have his finances
think
together,
about,
you see a different side.
And I would speak for black women. Yeah. Think about it like this as well. I have friends, I have sorority sisters, I have line sisters that are doctors, lawyers, pharmacists, engineers, and y'all are settling for pookies that you grew up with,
did we just discuss that it don't matter?
Do you know why?
No. Hold on. I'm not saying. Hear me
It's a contradiction.
It's not a contradiction. What I am saying is, a lot of times you'll find that educated black, we are the most educated gender in,
With the most debt.
and that's fine. All I'm saying is that I will have I got a doctorate degree, and I'm ignoring the red sign or the red flags of
You just said they don't
somebody
matter,
with a
though.
GED. Like, I'm not saying that it matters, but what I'm saying is that a lot of times we're sometimes also forced into settling.
You got a brother?
So,
Do you have a brother?
I can say on the lines of
Yeah, I
Okay,
do.
she gonna.
No, okay, and I may not be, and I may not
I need to hear
be,
this one.
no, and I may not be communicating this like the most, in
I know what
this
you're
way.
saying.
Do you
Yeah,
kind
I
of get
get
where,
what
you
you're
see
saying.
where I'm
Yeah,
going?
yeah.
All I'm saying is
I don't
that,
see. Bring us
no,
there.
I'm trying to
Are
bring
y'all
you there. I'm trying to bring you there.
I heard
All
settling.
I
all
heard
I'm
settle.
saying
We're forced to
is that
settle.
sometimes we are forced, or
Yeah.
professional women can be forced to settle because the options aren't necessarily there, and there are these societal pressures. This is where I'm going with it, and then hopefully, I don't know if this will clear it up,
Take it
and I
home,
know
take it
where you're
home,
trying to go.
take it home.
There are societal pressures that I can have the doctorate degree, I can have the house, I can have the cars, I can have the dog, but if I don't have a husband or a significant other, well, we're going to talk in the as far as husband, right? At that point, I somehow failed as a woman. Same thing with the pressure about having kids. Again, I'm not saying that I believe any of this. I don't agree with any of it. All I'm saying is that there are real societal pressures when it comes to that, and some of that does contribute to that ignoring of red
But if
flags
the guy,
for some people. Not for me personally. I'm just saying that that's a real thing for some women.
Nah, you're
No,
right.
I can say
I'm just saying.
the pressure that's imposed, like
I don't think that way, but some
just
people,
it's like I can
it's a
say.
real
I
thing.
don't know. I can't relate.
Well, I know for when it comes to like.
I'm just saying.
No,
but what do you mean by that?
I mean, I can't relate because I supposedly I did it right. So I did the dating, marriage, house, car, baby, whatever.
3?
2.
That was 2, boy. You can't.
That was 2. You can't show us a 10.
I thought it was more.
Two.
Okay, y'all.
So I did the dating, marriage, house, car, baby. So I mean, and now I'm walking away from that marriage. So now I don't know, but also my cultural thing is like my the black side of my family is like kick him out, you done, girl. And but at the same time, like from the outside, I feel like I failed.
Yeah, I think because most people.
Even though I know, like, I did the right thing.
I know
I made the right
you did
choice.
the right thing.
I know
And
I did the right
went through
thing.
that. I went through that post engagement where it was like, oh, where's your fiance? Oh, when's your what? And it's like, oh, I'm not. And then people look at you like, and they look at you all sad. Like you need to go sit in a corner and cry. And it's like, I'm still a very bold person.
This is why I get confused.
I still have all these other things going. The fact that this relationship didn't work out does not make me a failure. But those pressures are there. So some women will then ignore those red flags to keep that. I'm not saying
But
that
that's
it's
why I
right.
I can see that. I can see definitely
That's where
that
that's all I'm saying. That's
you
where I'm
miss
going with
certain
it.
things.
Settle.
You skip
keep
certain things because I think even in society now we look at, do we look compatible together? Does the job that he have look compatible with mine?
Right.
Instead of looking at like, do we actually get along? Are our priorities going in the same direction? Do we have the same type of path that
we
we
actually like each
kind of-
other.
Yeah. Do we truly
Or
like
do-
each
or
other,
do
or
we
is it more of a
lust
physical
each other?
situation? Yes.
Love and
Or if
lust,
it's
yeah, that's
Well, that
And-
brings up.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, but that brings up the. What was Jeff Bezos' ex-wife?
Yeah.
Did she just marry a
Teacher.
teacher? So I'm just trying to get the ladies.
She's a billionaire. She can do whatever she
She's
wants.
a
at that point.
billionaire.
You know how
Whoa,
attractive
well, what
she
does
is.
that
Makes-
No, I'm
Listen
just
to
saying,
my
like-
point. Listen to my point. I'm
I wanna
asking.
hear this.
I'm
wanna hear this.
asking.
I really
A billionaire who clearly ain't dating another billionaire. Would that be a deal breaker for y'all? Because he clearly
No.
can't pay.
As a
No,
teacher,
nothing.
that's not a
No.
problem.
You can't
Because
hold
at
it
a
one.
certain, again, once you hit a
Yes.
certain point financially, like
You
I would
I
much
just-
rather have someone that loves me and I love them.
So question. So you say you rather have somebody that loves you and you love them, but then you talked about Pookie.
But I think
And-
that
With your
was
friends.
no, but that was in relation to ignoring red flags and sometimes women selling.
But what if Pookie loves?
So my question is, when it
And
came,
Pookie don't be worth nothing a lot of times.
Other than
No,
love?
And I'm not
but-
trying to be disrespectful, but what happens when you're a man and then she got 4 or 5 kids?
That's a little
Well,
different.
that's
my whole question
Am
was
I
just-
settling for her? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, or do
No.
I genuinely
No,
love her?
no. And again,
I'm
but
trying
but
to-
if she can, there's not pressure on men.
So
But I
say
feel like
this?
it's a financial
Can
I say this? So
You don't
the
feel
one
if
thing-
you're a you're
No,
you're
time
the
out, time
man.
out. So-
if you're 50 and you got a girl that's half your
Here's the
age,
thing. When the talk
They
of
mature slow.
All right,
No, what-
here we
what
go, here we go.
touche.
no, this is one thing. If you in a conscious group, if you in a, like I'm speaking on the male aspect. If you in a conscious group of men, obviously women have a biological clock when it comes to having kids.
Yes.
They say it's 35 to 36.
Since the beginning.
No, that's facts.
That's facts.
That's
That's your
And
fertility window.
You're not 60
And
having a
you gotta
baby.
think about it.
Like
No, that's
35,
not
but when you get 35, you start having
No, you are. Yeah, no, I agree.
So-
I agree.
I know
She has a bag too.
women have that societal pressure posed on them due to that. They have that posed on them.
Like if
But
you
the,
want to have a baby, it has
Right.
and to say that dudes is inconsiderate or not hearing that, it's kind of a subjective thing to say because you got some dudes that they're aware of when it's biological clock. Because you got to think about it, dudes not gonna. With dudes, we can date younger. That's not saying that dudes want to think they want to date younger. You kind of want to stay in your say age group as far as when you're looking at your significant other. That's preferably. It's
My daddy and mom got a 20-year difference.
I understand it, but I'm just saying.
It's
But
literally
I'm just saying.
20 years.
I'm saying off of interest.
Yeah.
If your interest,
My
like
dad-
say, if you're rolling with your interest, you're literally not going to say, I'm going to look for somebody
Clearly.
X amount of years younger to beat the biological clock. So that's another imposed thing that's imposed on women. And then the dudes that's conscious about it, they thinking like, shit, I'm going into my 30s.
40.
I kind of, or 40s, or even saying like, no, I'm just saying like,
She's not wrong.
and I'm saying like in the sense of, some conscious dudes are thinking like, maybe I need to get my life together. They thinking back on the early 20s like, yeah, I might have pissed away those 20 to 25 years finding that lady I could build with. So you could
How
say,
many girls did you pass up? That's a whole.
it's not even that. It could be even the time spent with one person or even 2 people over a span of time. It's just you got to think about, as a dude, you got to get your life together too, because the females that you're interested in, if they're in a certain age group, that window's slowly closing.
And that's what I'm saying with the red flags. I've always told my sisters, I don't care if they're older or younger, I don't care if you've been with this dude for 5 years. Get
Wash
rid
your
of the
hands
dude
of
right
this
now, because you waste another 5, you're
He's
going to
not
miss your
gonna
opportunity.
change.
And it's going to be somebody who can really change your life. And they're like, oh, you got all this baggage, you broken, you doing this, you still over
But
here.
now you got
And
kids
it's going to
that y'all
have
shouldn't
a
have.
whole lot of
Mm.
issues with that. That's why I think that's where women go wrong. Just if you see it within the first year, you're going to get talked about regardless if it's going to be now or 10 years. Drop that dude.
'Cause the thing
and
about-
go find somebody else.
The
Like,
thing I got to say with red flags,
In my life.
it's just real.
red flags, you got to think about it. If it's something early enough in a relationship where you can not nip it in the butt, if you can deem it as not being an ongoing problem, that's something to work towards. Everybody ain't gonna be perfect. I ain't gonna lie. Everybody ain't gonna be perfect, but you shouldn't settle for something that you should set boundaries up. And that's one thing I guess you could say, being on both sides of the fence, you gotta set boundaries. You also gotta know when to let them down,
But
because
how many people actually really know how to set
What-
healthy boundaries?
well, here's the thing about boundaries. It's more of a personal thing. You can't go into a relationship having the same boundaries as the person that you're trying to be with. You could establish your boundaries saying, this is what makes
Your
me...
non-negotiables.
Yeah, I got that in my head. I don't never tell anybody.
It's negotiable to come to an
Yeah.
understanding. Not negotiable to come to understanding. You don't have to agree with somebody's boundaries, but you got to understand them.
Right, no, but what I'm
Respect,
saying,
respect.
boundaries
Yeah.
are more or less whatever are your non-negotiables, right? And
Facts.
again, setting healthy boundaries. Everyone does not know how to do that. When you talk about setting boundaries, that stuff goes all the way back, and not even trying to get that deep, but that goes back to like
Can
your
I ask a question?
childhood.
What is your non-negotiable?
You should keep it to yourself.
Yeah,
I really don't think. Yeah, I mean,
But then
I
again-
kind
You
of
have
agree.
one?
I do have.
Speed it up.
Like, yes, put it out. What's your
I mean-
non-negotiable?
That's like,
One for me is definitely going to be like a person getting physical. That's like a one and done. Honestly, you're not even getting one because if he will push you around while y'all dating,
that's
he
a
will
strong
slap you
non-negotiable.
down while you are married. And
Message.
I am a former special victims unit prosecutor, and I dealt with nothing but women, and in some cases men, that had domestic violence issues. That stuff is financial, it's emotional, it can be physical.
Right.
There's a
Like,
lot of trauma
Do you-
right there.
do you ever
no, I
know
don't need
something?
that in my life. So that's definitely one.
I would say it's probably I like to be. We don't have to be in the same place spiritually because I think that's very unrealistic. But I would just say someone like I can't be getting the kids ready for church on Sunday and you're like, oh, have fun. I'm an atheist. Yeah, cause I think that I'm just the type of person like if we don't, the spiritual affects so much other thing, man. It affects the physical, it affects the mental.
Yeah.
So that would be the number one.
Hey, don't
What would
negotiate
yours
about
be?
your guy.
Still
Go
working
ahead,
on
Brian.
Still working on it, y'all.
That's
What about you, Justin?
They can't eat in the bed.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
What?
that's a tough one.
I know he lying.
Wait a second. I was gonna ask. I had follow-up questions for that one. Wait a
We
second.
talking gushers or we talking?
I'm talking about like
Gushers?
if I roll-
Non-crummy?
if I roll over and I got crumbs on my arm, I'm like, man.
But the
No
cake was
food.
okay. So like no cheese.
But the cake.
But
No, cheese. That's gonna show up on the sheets. That's gonna show up on the sheets.
I'm surprised.
That's gonna show up on the sheets.
You can wash the
What
sheet.
about you, Dub?
Shout it out.
I knew he was lying.
You ain't gotta give one since he can give that. So you ain't gotta give one now.
I'm done.
Okay, what's yours? I'm very interested to hear what you.
Give
Honestly,
one.
yeah,
Come on.
It's not hard. Just don't affect like our livelihood. So I know like my job, my life gets complicated because I don't have a 9 to 5. I will have clients call me at 10 o'clock or 8 a.m. and I have to work till 12 o'clock, and that becomes a problem. But don't stop me from building or making money.
Stop grinding? Ain't nobody
Yeah.
gonna stop your grind.
Not
No.
you-
Oh, okay. Hold on.
I used to think that.
Come back.
Yeah.
Come back.
I want the donut.
I used to think that too until it became a problem, and I realized I know what it takes to make this type of money in these moves, and if somebody's not on the same page,
Question.
yeah. So that's one of my deal breakers.
Shit, we got follow-ups, y'all.
Yeah, I just
That's alright.
I don't know. Yeah, just don't put your hands on me. That's it.
Wait.
Touche.
Okay, what's your follow-up?
Yeah, like I've had women slap me before, and I was just
Wait, so what was your so your non-negotiables? Don't stop the grind
Yeah.
and don't put your hands on it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Okay, so you gave us 2. Okay.
I'll give you those two.
Alright.
Yep.
So my question is,
This is so.
can you, if it's that person's passion, it's not bringing in any money, but it's their passion, can you say, hey, I like what you're doing, but you're taking away from our family? Like maybe it's something that they want to do, but they have a goal. Like this could make me
She's
money.
shaking the table. Hold on.
This could possibly make me money. This passion that I have could
That's
really
tough.
go somewhere
That's tough.
if you let me do what I want to do. But in order to let you do what you want to do, it takes time,
She's
which
so
takes
right.
time away from your family.
She sounded like Lawrence from Insecure
I'm-
with that little ass.
Nah, I'm okay with that depending
That's
on what
Lawrence.
it is. Because
He's in Lawrence, first
Yeah.
2 seasons.
I've been in a situation where it took me, I'm on 3.5, 4 years now. It took me
Go, whatever.
2.5 years to really get it, and then when it hit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm in real estate. It's a difference if
You
somebody's
building
saying,
it, though.
yeah, like I have no cap on anything I want to have, I can pretty much achieve it. I write it down, I can get it.
So we're not talking about the
Yeah.
ballers like
You
dudes,
sound like
right?
Diddy.
Yeah,
here.
but it's not a, it's a
Talking about
difference.
y'all.
Yeah, it's a difference if I say I want to breed hamsters and I want to get hamsters. You hear me? So,
Baddest
you know what I'm
hamster breed in the
saying?
land,
So,
man.
it depends on
I
what
make
it
money
is.
off these hands.
Designer hamsters.
As long as it's fluffy and cute.
I do. Okay, so to one of your non-negotiables about people stopping guys because you were like, oh, I don't think anybody's gonna stop.
Oh yeah, I was
and,
okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought that too at one point in time, sis. But that is definitely not true. So I've had the experience. Like I said, the first time I sat for the bar, I did not pass because I had a lot of relational things going on. When I went to study a second time, I had the feeling like it was like everything was an argument. It was like, it almost was like he did not want me to succeed with it. So to have been in that situation, like that's my livelihood. I went to school for this.
This is what I'm gonna do, boo.
I've dedicated years to this. And so it's important to me. It's gonna set up my life financially, my future.
When
my
you come to
family.
that point,
Yeah,
you gotta choose.
You gotta joke. I chose
Was he
myself.
financially secure?
No.
See, and that's the thing about how you get with men too.
That's another bar.
When men aren't financially secure, you're not going to get the true them.
Look,
And they're not gonna be
Yeah.
if they're not financially secure, then they might themselves not.
Yeah.
They might be insecure, and then to see you trying to grind and be successful, and they know where your non-limitless
She
cap
don't
is.
leave me.
Yeah.
Man,
That's
she
true.
don't leave me.
honestly, I think
You know
that
what I'm
might have been part of what it
So
was. I
now
would agree with
women
that.
go in there and try to build that guy who's trying to do it. Thanks for building him for the next person.
And I definitely did.
Ooh, another bar.
I definitely did.
Sometimes you
Yeah.
just gotta, I mean,
Yeah, you
But
need to
you know
like.
what?
if you
But
like that
it is
teriyaki
what it
flavor
is.
type of man,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it honestly is what it is because if I built you and I made you better, you will never be able to take that away from me, and you're welcome.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
All right.
In the words of Mallory.
Who was that?
You're
That's
welcome.
it.
I got
Yeah.
a new question for you
That's
guys.
a fact.
What about male-female relationships while you're in a union? So can you have a best female friend
That's
as a
conversation.
guy,
I want them to answer that first.
or can your wife have a best male friend?
I have a guy best friend.
What up?
That's like family.
I gotta hear what Brian gotta say. I'm ready.
Go ahead. Go
Yeah, I
ahead.
just think it comes down to transparency and communication. I don't think I need to know everything, but somebody that texting you at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning talking business all the time, like, come on now, are you involved in real estate like
That's your
Devion
side
is?
chick.
Are you really doing business at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning?
But it's
Some stuff, it's about transparency. Like, they do, but it's like,
But it stops. Look, but
If-
that stops when you get a relationship. because
guarantee. Let's say
definitely
Devion
will
looking at a
cause
listing for a house,
facts.
and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. His wife come and she see him on the computer. Devion's still on the computer. His wife come over the shoulder. He not freaking out. Why? It's business. I ain't got nothing to hide.
Yeah,
He
That's what I'm
ain't
talking
mad.
about.
that's a
Go
fact.
ahead.
That's cool. Okay, cool. You gotta communicate with the cool. Fine.
Yeah.
I need you to be transparent about it though.
Yeah, but my eye would stop when
So-
you get in a relationship.
but
my eyes would
also-
stop.
what if the best friend was like an ex or something?
Well, no,
too?
so that's
That might
that
go
is where
another
I was
monkey
about to go.
wrench
Do not be around here. Stop calling me sis if we done smashed. Okay,
Really?
that's all I'm
Some
saying.
stuff is just about
Don't-
respect. too.
Yeah,
Like, come on
it
now.
is because don't sit here and say, "Oh, this is my
That's
sister.
dead.
This is like my best friend."
But is that an
Hey, y'all
insecurity
was
though?
smashing.
Because like if there is,
Well,
like,
No, I
best friend
don't
is
think
your
it.
main
I don't
viewer.
know.
what if it was in college?
So I think that's more of a question on.
My question is this: for the guys, do you guys have a female best friend, like somebody that you would introduce to your girlfriend? This is my best friend. This is who I hang with. Woo woo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not
They all
interested
said
in
that
you know,
very quickly.
you know what else? I'm 99% sure I'm not interested in her whatsoever.
Nah.
But is she attractive?
No, she about to be married. And I give her advice on her future
Wait,
relationship.
So she not attractive. So wait, so she not attractive?
To me, she's
Okay.
Okay.
And that's a big thing.
That's
If
huge.
she's attractive.
the problem with
Yeah.
what y'all saying though.
Yeah.
It don't matter if you don't. And maybe
Nah,
it's on
she ain't
men
cute tonight.
because it's always gonna be a man it's always gonna be a man who may be in the friend zone and he think he gonna be able to get out of the friend zone.
I
Let the
know,
woman.
no, but
so
my
you gotta
question
ask
was.
him.
But my question was about, okay, you don't find her attractive. Does she find you attractive? Because what I'm not going to do is deal with this is your best friend, this is your sister, and the girl watching my tone, the girl giving me side eye.
But you know what?
Or pick a word
if
and
he's-
a name for her.
Maybe that's
and
where
she's
I go
giving
back.
me the
Maybe that's
side
where
eye
I go
every
back to
time.
my wife, and then I say, okay, this is who this is, and then I go to the best friend.
Check.
She has to know.
Yeah.
Look, you don't got
At
my.
that
You
point,
don't.
that ain't just your word.
You ain't got-
You gotta check her.
You don't got my last
That
name.
sound good until it's your wife. Then you gotta get rid of
Don't-
the
it
best
don't-
friend.
It don't sound right. You should not have to check. I would
didn't
not
think this
have
was
to
gonna
check.
get this-
It's my no. I would not have to check my guy best friend when I get married. It's not gonna be like, oh, he gonna be side eyeing my husband or anything like that, because we have a platonic relationship. So if you gotta go and check her about how she talking to the girl who's supposed to be your wife or your significant other, or they bumping heads and stuff, knowing women, being a woman, there's 9 times out of 10 something to that. So all of that sounds
I got-
good in concept and idea, but you not being.
It,
So-
it does.
you know,
It sounds really good. I would love to have a male best friend that was just just my best friend. I don't have one.
So does it
I
make,
don't.
does it make a difference if the person's I don't want to be offending you, like homosexual? Like
Hey,
then
I don't know
everybody
what's
okay?
going on. I haven't met those either.
They don't count.
It is
They don't
what it
count.
is.
I wouldn't.
I'm
put your
saying,
wife-
I'm saying,
They like the
You can go-
same. They like the same thing, so I'm not tripping on
like
that.
yeah, but like.
So it's just
you're-
if they
so
have
you're-
if they have relations,
That's-
then
that's
it's not
not-
real.
Wait,
No, wait. So do you have a male best friend?
I do.
Do you find him attractive?
I mean,
She
he's
does.
not
Do
an
you
ugly
find him
guy.
attractive?
does.
He's not an ugly guy, but would I date him? No.
Is he light skinned?
Yeah.
Wait, trying to talk about this.
I don't know. Like I'm just like.
I agree with you. I mean, I agree with you. I don't think like men
It's-
and women can. be
it's-
friends.
Now, if I have a male best friend that like I'm not attracted to, 9 times out of 10 he's attracted to me.
And that's the question.
And so the
But
problem
in my
is like,
question-
oh, we best friends, but at the same time, if it comes to a late night and I'm like, I'm gonna take my clothes off, I think you might
Yeah,
be
he
like,
on
I'm
that.
good as ever,
He on that. Cause I ain't friends with no girls.
First of all,
who are
this
not
man over
nice.
here just said he was a dog back in the day.
I'm just being, look, I'm just giving you. I'm not-
Today is today.
Right,
Look,
right.
I'm
Back in the day, the
not-
day is yesterday.
Today is today.
I'm not friends with no girl, really, for real, is not my sister.
Cause like that's the
Because I know I'm not gonna have sex with my sisters ever. I'm not attracted to my sisters like that.
I mean,
That's
for
a-
obvious reasons.
Yeah, so
Incest thing's great.
if
Okay.
so if I'm friends with a girl and she's attractive, I'm trying to get on.
Okay, so
we can work our way through the friend zone.
Okay, and like you guys are not at the point,
Oh, there.
and I'm just kind of gonna throw this out here, but you guys are obviously like we're all closer to the same age, so this will more be for you. So like older men. No. I'm saying like we're all close to the same age group, so it would be hard. Like if y'all are sitting here praying on like 18, 19-year-olds. So my question is more about, have you ever experienced like older men that may be like mentors or that may be like some kind of professional
Perverts.
relationship or some kind of platonic relationship, and their whole time like plotting on you like this man in like 20 years?
I have.
Oh, you really want me to answer? Yes, like I'm so curious. I just want to know from the perspective of another woman, because I know my experience with
The
that.
answer's gonna be yes. So give your story.
Oh my gosh, I don't.
And if you don't want to give a story, that's okay.
Tell the
Alright.
story.
You don't
I
have to
just
tell
know
the story.
that
I
I was in school. I was like maybe first year of high school. He thought he was cool. He was cool. Just to be smart out here. Stay away from bad guys. Blah blah blah.
And if you
When
do
I
some
hit
extra
21.
Ooh, that's a long time. 7 years.
What you leaving with that time?
I know I am
No,
legal,
but that's still that's
but our relationship
that
changed.
ain't
It went from being keep away from bad boys to
he was the bad boy.
I'm your bad boy.
Yeah, I'll be your bad boy. So I have not had a male mentor who.
Did you go out with that bad boy?
Huh?
Did you go out with him?
What?
All right, whoa there.
Very much so.
Yeah, well, that's
All right, I got another question, y'all. We're gonna transition now. It's a great transition.
We gonna transition.
All right.
Transition.
We talked about this the first time we talked about relationships, and we kind of went around the room, and I kind of want to hear what the ladies say and see if some of the guys still agree with their first takes on who eats first when it comes to dinner when you get married and you got kids.
Who eats first when it comes to dinner? Okay, what is the dinner setting? Because and I say this because y'all know in
You
Black
cooked us a good
families-
steak, and we sit down. We didn't say a grace.
One steak?
No, but like, right. First of all, this is not a realistic situation, so my answer is different.
How is it not?
Because my answer is different for different situations. If I am at your mama's house on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
Who's eating first in my mama's house?
it's different.
You better get it right.
It might be different from at home.
You can make your own
plate.
plate.
Hey, mama better be eating first.
You know what you
No,
like.
You know what you. So okay. Now see, I'm going to differ from you. I don't
Thank you.
disagree
Thank
with you.
you.
I'm
Thank
not
you.
disagreeing with you. Stop.
You expect
Stop.
her to make
I don't know. I want to hear what
See,
y'all
I
gotta
might be.
say.
I do
I
not. Hold
wanna
on.
hear
Wait,
what y'all gotta say.
Kay, I do not disagree with you because you a grown man, so you do know how to make your own plate. However, my own personal.
Well, I don't know at my house.
I will say for my own personal preference and choice. If I am at your mama's house and it's Thanksgiving or it's Christmas or something, you are right. I am definitely going to make my man's plate. 110%.
But what about mine?
But that's my personal choice. One, your mama and your sisters ain't about to be trying to fight me in the backyard. Because if they fight you over that plate, honey, you didn't get the big piece of chicken. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I don't need those kind of problems in my life. And you got sisters, like, so I'm sure.
No, I don't play that.
I feel like we
but-
be picking and choosing gender roles and
No,
stuff. Like,
but that I think again that's preference. I've always watched.
so what if you
Children
what if
eat
you
first.
sit down
I think
with
it's
the
a
family
then
and
you
you
talk.
how you kinda grew up in
Yeah,
your
it's how you
household.
grew up. Like in my
In my household,
Sunday
kids
dinner.
eat first.
Yeah, kids eat first. Kids eat first, and then at that point, I may make the plate for my significant other or not. But kids definitely eat
So we
first.
saying kids eat first?
I'm saying I don't really care as long as I eat.
And I don't, and that's when I'm making their plates, I'm gonna make sure that the big slice of meat
It's for him.
is for him. We're not even meat eaters for
But
real.
let me-
We're almost here to
So
be
the
it.
kids' plates are getting made first before the head of the house.
First of all,
See
the way that things are set up with the person that I'm with, he don't give a damn. I mean, darn, he don't care.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. Like the person I'm with, I wouldn't date somebody with such.
So Josh, what it sounds
old-fashioned
like,
ideals.
Okay.
what it sounds like,
Okay.
I'm gonna stir the pot and I'm gonna shake
Stir
the
it.
table and we're gonna because you are advocating and I don't think you're playing devil's advocate. I personally feel like this is a little personal here and clearly you want somebody to make your plate. You think.
Oh no,
that
I'm
is
just asking a
something-
question. I'm just
Okay,
asking a question.
because you're advocating like that's a personal choice for you, and if it is, that's cool.
But
and there are women out there that
It
do
just
that.
confuses me because like you guys say you want to submit to a man,
Who
right?
said one?
That's what I've heard, that women want to submit and a man leads the relationship.
And I mean no
Divine
disrespect,
submission.
but
That's only divine submission. There's only one time I'm gonna be submissive.
Cut, we're done.
I'm gonna bring up-
Time out.
Come
Time
on,
out.
bring it home, Brian. Brian, better
I'm
bring
just
it
gonna
home.
bring it to my perspective. What he just brought up: submit and service. It feels good. It turns me so off from a woman when she does not like to feel like it's such a chore to submit to a man or to give service to a man. You don't like to do that type of stuff. So what is your marriage built on? I want to provide for you and the family. I want to make sure there's food in the cabinets and all that stuff. I want to do that stuff because it makes you feel good. That's service.
Yeah.
So
That's
okay.
service to your woman. So that is a huge freaking red flag.
I don't know. I feel like the word
Huge red
submissive
flag.
is just
You don't like
not the
word?
way that I would want to be
But that's what the
described.
Bible
No,
says.
You just don't like the word.
So as a man, do I not submit to God? Who in here does not submit to God?
It says submit to your
That,
husband.
so
That's my point.
no.
Everybody has somebody to answer to.
But for you, It's
It doesn't
based off
mean-
of religion.
Right.
It's not even based off religion. It's about the simple fact that
Submission.
Your principles are based off.
Submission
It's not submission.
in 2021. No. The definition when you talk about submit in this day and
men
age,
don't lead.
it's so much more subjective than what you are referring to. I completely understand what you are referring to, and I don't disagree with what you just said at all. But in this day and age, if submit is I'm submitting to being your dang on concubine with 2 other women. Like
that's not
again, but submit for you.
That just depends on that's whoever that woman is making bad men choices.
That is.
Alright, so
that
I can
can
take it
be
biblical. I'll take it biblical.
Oh,
Alright,
man.
so
this.
Wow.
I in the beginning, before we got married, we went to our pastor.
Amen.
And we had our conversations, our couple marriage counseling meetings, where pretty much I was just told to be submissive to my husband, and that was, where I was supposed to be at.
Through scripture, right?
Did they put it in context?
Okay, hold on. Let's go. Let her finish.
So-
Let her finish.
When it came to certain things, I let him and I probably gave him way too much power. Where okay, we should go to church, but if he really wasn't feeling up to it, then it was just kind of I was just struggling to get him to do stuff that I felt like we needed to do as a family, or or being submissive with what his goals, his passions, what he wanted. I was more willing to just submit to what his goals were. The problem with that came when I realized that your goals flip-flop every other day. Your priorities flip-flop every day. And so when you're supposed to be the head of the ship, honey, boo-boo, child, you don't know where you're going. Because one minute you're going that way, the next minute you're going that way. I cannot follow you. My family cannot follow you because you have no sense of direction on where you're trying to go.
And I would be in agreement with that.
So I can't follow somebody that don't know how to lead.
And
You shouldn't.
So then, when there came a time where I was at church, he was not at church, and I went up, and they tell you to go up there or whatever. So I went up there, and my bishop grabbed me and kind of just said, I can tell you right now, you are the one that's going to be in charge. He told me that he did not know anything about my situation back home. He just said, I'm telling you right now that I feel that you are the one that is going to be the leader. You are the one that's going to have to be the head, because I can feel that there is no direction coming from where it needs to be. And he pretty much told me that I was going to be the lead. After that, I started to realize, when it came down to putting my foot down, saying, no, this is not a good decision. No, what you're doing is not beneficial to our family. That's when I started getting that pushback, because now I'm finally standing up to myself. I'm not being that submissive type. I'm starting to say, no, this doesn't work for me. This doesn't work for where we're going. And so then when I finally started putting my foot down, I got more pushback from him, and then slowly.
He's a failure.
But listen though, when it comes to submission, right?
I'm saying,
I have no problem
situation.
allowing.
So the submissive part just hits me wrong.
Yeah, allowing a man.
So it's the word submit. So what can we say?
But here's the thing,
because
it's not just about the word, it's about the person. First of all, you have to be worthy of me submitting too. So if you want me to sit here and let you be a man, but you don't know the windshield wiper fluid little capacity thing.
We both out there struggling
the
with
oil.
tire.
To the oil thing. The oil or I know, I personally was raised, I know how to check my oil. I know how to check my tire.
Agree.
You can't, at that point, that's not submission.
Do y'all agree that the man should lead the relationship?
If he knows how.
Well, that's a problem, because I personally. You shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not gonna date someone that's not capable. I think that.
But no, just like the situation.
That dude's
I feel like
no offense to whoever you talking to.
I feel like putting a gender role.
Yeah, no,
It can lead to more problems than most solutions that we have the questions to. Because the thing is, I'm gonna speak off of personal experience. Like I said, my parents. My mom makes significantly more than my dad. But in my dad's own respect, he makes a good amount of money. And the thing is, my dad's health is not the best. When he was, I can't say he was the head of the household, because it's a two-part thing. When my dad's health failed, my mom took the majority of the financial benefit. And
Stand by your man.
that's the thing they do. So it's like to say that my dad has made some of the harder decisions when he was in when he was in position to make the decisions. But my mom assumed the role, and with her assuming the role, there was really no power change. There was no animosity. There was no questioning. And it's like it just flowed.
We know your parents are they got a real relationship.
But the thing is though, as far as
they fill in what the other one.
I'm with you, because for her to step in when his health failed, that is like that's love.
It's the vice versa.
No, that's love, and that's true marriage and relationship.
And that's the one thing, and I can say if it comes down to, because it's even our topics earlier. If one person in a relationship is a breadwinner, they can handle the financial stuff. They can handle that with thinking twice because they're financially fit to do that. But there's other things outside of a relationship that needs tending to that's not financing. And if the other person could fill that void that the person is financial, that's all respected jobs. Because like I think back to something simple as even dating. Like when y'all have a system going and y'all going out to restaurants. You know, general roles, you say the dude is always supposed to pay, but if y'all on a working system, let somebody catch the tip, one person catch the dinner. It don't matter about where you go. If it's an expensive date, obviously you treating somebody. The person that
if you ask to go.
Yeah. If I'm taking my girl out to something, I'm a spoiler. And the thing is, if she wants to take me out, if I had a bad day and she want to take me out and spoil me, that's fine with me. But if it's just a collective, if it's a collective date, go with the flow. But I'm saying if you coming in with a certain mind on some things, roll with that mindset, roll with it. But if you can't do it, I'm pretty sure your significant other will fill the void.
At the end of the day, your relationship, I don't care what nobody says, you can check statistics, all that stuff. Most of it is based off of finance.
Finances make things easier. Just like Biggie said, more money, more problems. More money makes certain situations go away.
I'm not saying like you gotta have a lot of money. I'm just saying like you can make 50, she makes 50, but y'all keep your house in order. Because right now, like I know your parents at the same time, but you know if they're to the point right now, like they're running off love. Yeah. So it's a difference. But if I'm coming in right now, you know, and she's going to school. Now I lost my job, or I can't do this, I can't pay the bills. I'm like, I gotta do 50-50. You out of there, big dog. Yeah. That's just how it is. It ain't fair, but you gone.
Yeah.
So, you know, so it's just like when your finances are in order, especially as a man, you know this as well as they know, you feel like a different person.
Oh yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying. So now you can bring your true self. You can do all these things, and I'm not saying make a lot of money. You know, you just have to whatever your dollar.
When you create stability.
Yeah. Stability can be at $50,000. Stability could be at $100,000. You could have $250,000 a year and not be stable at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Stability is what really matters.
Car broke and the Jones is broke. So
all right, so we about to wrap up in a minute. I got this last question for y'all. It's not that bad.
It's controversial.
Since it's not about marriage, submitting, all that stuff. It's more so about dating and single. I think everybody's single or dating, whatever. We're figuring it out. The real question right now is, why do people play games in relationship, and are rosters necessary?
Yes.
So define roster. The roster.
Like having a roster.
Okay, hold on. So Justin, I will say rosters are subjective. Like you make a very good point with that. So at the point where if I am single and I have 2 or 3 different people that maybe hold on, I said 2 or 3. That's not a lot. First of all, let's stop there. 2 or 3 different people that may be interested in me. No, that's a trio. 5 is a squad. Message. Okay. Okay, I gotta see that's B2K versus, or not B2K, 3LW versus like Jackson 5. Okay, so here's my whole thing. I'm just saying. Here's my whole thing. If I am single and I like, she can mingle. Yeah, I can mingle. If I don't have kids, I don't have other responsibilities. So if you want to take me on a date on Wednesday and somebody else wants to take me out on Friday. And somebody wants to take me to brunch on Sunday. That just kind of is what it is. Not unless I have a conversation with one of them that like, ooh,
when y'all want to take it to that next level,
then at that point, I will reassess that whole roster thing.
Bring it home.
But I also feel like you will
roster do not mean that you get that. roster mean you're getting smashed because of the type of stuff you like to do.
No.
That is
I'll let you finish, and then I'll.
Rosters does not mean I might go on dates with 3 different people, 3 different days.
On my roster.
But okay, so we have 2 different definitions of a roster.
So what is the female definition of roster?
What do women say?
Women, yeah,
I'll
women.
tell you
Okay,
what.
so your roster includes
No.
sexual intercourse.
Men's
Roster includes sexual. Well, that's because y'all don't.
Oh, wait a minute.
No,
Be careful with y'all.
I'm good.
Okay.
So, but for a female's roster may or may not include sex. Like she may have just one dude on there that she has sex with, and then the other ones want to get to that point.
But isn't that
So is that subjective? It's subjective because you can say you can simply say the same for two.
playing games.
No, that's not pimping.
It's not
That's
playing.
not playing.
So-
Wait. That's not playing games.
No.
So we get.
So why would you entertain 3 or 4 dudes
What?
and then consistently be with one? That's playing games.
So-
No. I might sexually deal with one.
Okay, I don't want you dealing with one other.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's a crazy
No,
one.
That's insane.
Oh my
That's
God.
insane.
Like you can take it.
But he just said that he had a roster and he's sexually dealing with all of them.
For one, I ain't saying.
There's
I ain't
sometimes
saying I'm doing that.
It's
I'm saying.
well, I was saying
There's
with it being
double
subjective,
standards.
they got subjective topics and
Yeah.
you also got double standard. And the thing is,
This is that.
you can say
No, because I cannot say I have
I
a
got
roster and I'm
overtime.
smashing
You can't
all
know.
of them.
No.
People look at me.
No, the thing
That's
is-
crazy.
No,
if
that's-
I said that,
so you can
all
say
of y'all would.
yes.
See?
And I'll be like,
So
Trying to get
But I can't
Justin-
look at him any kind of way because he just said that.
Just to
he
bring
was
it
smashing 5
home.
people.
you can say you have a roster. It's up to the personal preference. If somebody want to say they're sexually active with their roster, because like I said, when it comes to dating, you gotta have a vetting process. If you dating 3 people, I'm not gonna say male or female. If you dating 3 people, you giving them all 3 people the same questions. That's you going through your
Exactly.
vetting process. But the thing is,
When
once you cross that line
Yeah.
of sexuality,
Yes.
that changes things. Because right now,
it should change.
It should change this
Yeah, well,
for the
yeah.
one that gets it.
and that's what I said. So like,
But why have the others? That's what I'm saying. You are playing games.
No. But I was just saying that as an
No, but
example.
once that happens,
But
I'm
I'm
not
saying
the other ones are gonna
you
listen
can
to
you
it
can
and
you
follow
can
anyway.
go on dates with multiple people. But once you get to a certain
But
threshold,
girls aren't
boundaries.
doing that. That's
Yeah.
the thing. They playing games.
hey, yo, we can't say it's girl.
No,
Okay, sorry.
Generalize it.
No, actually,
Generalize
Justin,
it.
he's right. Girls may be doing that.
Okay,
I'm a
you're
woman.
your
woman.
bar.
I'm a woman.
I got to if we match, do we go on the wait. So you just did you not say that
Very carefully, Justin.
women are
Justin, don't
on
let
the
us down,
biological
bro.
clock?
Don't
He
let us
can't
down,
talk too
man.
hard. It's okay.
We're on a biological clock,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
Do we have the time to date one person
At a time.
Okay,
now-
and then finally be like
you know-
after like 3 months
So
or
Justin,
1
Justin,
And I
year.
got lost
Justin.
out on the other 2, and one of the other
Here
2.
you go.
I just don't
If a
really smash
woman
them.
knows
That's
what
it.
Understood.
she wants,
So
Huh?
if she knows what she wants,
I am
she's
a rolling
gonna
basis
she's gonna
interviews.
date that
That's all I'm
one
doing.
person.
So
That's cool.
you know, and you know,
Rolling basis
She knows what she
That's
wants.
all that is. I am taking
Now, a woman that
applications
don't know
on a
what she
rolling
wants,
basis. That's
she
it.
got 3, 4,
That's it.
5,
You
and
come,
she
you
trying to
come.
figure it
I
out.
ain't say
And I would say the
I may
same
not
thing
call
about
you
a man.
back.
A man that don't know what he wants.
It's gonna go
He
through
got-
3
he
or 4 or
got
5 people. Exactly. They don't know what they want. They playing games.
That's man and woman.
it's a human. It's a human. You gotta think about it. You know, like
You
seriously,
get smashed by one. One of them got the finances. You get smashed by
No,
one.
so
One
that
of them
means
got
that's not
one
the
of them
same
might be
thing.
sexual and the finances. So you're doing that like
I'm saying it's a high.
Right. Y'all sweating
Real
out
quick,
here.
look, I'm cool with no lie. I don't care. If you, hey, that's just a new age form of pimping, so that's fine. But I'm not saying like I'm like women like dudes do it to girls. Cool.
So you cool with a girl having
They're
you on
not.
a
But that's the
roster?
thing about it is that's
Okay,
what I'm saying. Like I know.
If
look,
it's not, he's saying that it's
Like-
fine as long as
Okay.
they're
Wait,
not
you
operating.
fine?
no,
So you
not
fine
to
being on
be
the roster?
No, so not to be.
Look, I'm keeping G. I think
You hesitated,
No,
bro.
I'm keeping.
He don't have a choice, but he out here doing what?
That's not true.
He got a roster.
Whoa.
That means she's only getting a fraction of your time.
What the hell? What's the guy
other
say?
parts
She
of
got a piece of my
Work on
love just
herself.
waiting for you.
honey.
Look, You can date how many you
I
want.
think it's
but
a human.
just-
Now, can I shake
But
the
you-
table
but you-
one more
you
time?
date-
Wait, Josh, can I shake the table one more time?
Shake it.
Okay.
Shake it.
So, okay, for example, and I really want to know your answer to this.
All right, quick takes, y'all. Quick takes.
How do you feel about if you have a girl that, like, you know, she might have a roster, but you might be the LeBron on the team, right? Okay, how do you feel about at that point? And I saw like the video like of the guy who was like, oh, if that's just your friend, like. Put me on the Cash App. I want new shoes. I want to go to Miami. So how do you feel?
Am I trying to wipe her?
Yeah.
If I'm trying to make her mine, there is no, that's the difference. If I'm competing, cool, you got to go. All that roster stuff is gone. But it's a difference between dating people and having a roster. When we say roster, you're getting smashed. So now if you're getting smashed by 5
You talking about a Rolodex.
But I'm saying that's why dudes said. But if you're like a serial dater, that's cool. You gotta date. Yeah, and believe it or not, I date with a purpose.
I didn't say
No, you can be on a roster and still not have.
But I believe, you can be on a roster, but I think it's different from, like, dudes do it just for, like, ego purposes, so you might not do it, but I think women, for the most part, if you got a roster, you might be really
I'm trying to figure it out.
If it's a chick,
China might be smashed by all 5.
No.
It might be one
bro, if it's a
I ain't
chick,
gonna lie, I hate wasted time. I'm like
thank you.
Devion, bro.
Thank you.
And we not even on
Wasted
my
time.
But I feel like you also have
Wasting
to
time.
talk
I'm
about
dating
that
with a
though.
purpose.
Yeah.
Like if you're dating with a purpose, then you have to let that person know that it has to be an open conversation about, hey, I'm
People-
just dating
like you said, people
I
on
want
the
you-
interview
I think that's
stage,
another thing where you
people don't be
establish
hungry.
boundaries from the
Right.
first.
People don't be.
I'm just dating
I'm
you, but if you
open
never
like
say
But
that,
can
you're
we
just
always
dating
be
me.
100?
Like
Because
Josh
if
said,
a girl
people don't be
comes-
honest
Don't be
men or
100.
women. It
Yeah.
sucks what we living in, but
But if a girl comes and says, I'm dating 2 or 3 other people right
You gotta
now.
respect
Okay,
Hold
great.
on. Okay, but all men don't operate
Then
that
that
way.
should be a red
Some-
flag. If
Yeah,
you tell me-
agreed.
if a girl tell me-
Agreed.
That should be a red-
If you can't
red
handle
flag.
a friendly competition,
Cause no, what I'm getting at, we at that point in time, just like when we talk about females' biological clock, no wasted time. We at a point in time, if you're dating somebody, be upfront with them because that's how you eliminate no wasted time.
Thank
But
you.
you have to figure out if it's
Thank
just
you.
dating or getting to know someone.
Well, you
Some of
gotta-
those
well, you gotta
dates are
date
just
somebody
getting
that-
to
yeah,
know
because you
someone.
could be trying to get to know somebody. And they
Because
just
the
trying to
professional, no, the professional tell you that.
If a woman tells me she's got a roster and I'm like 1 of 5, I'm not interested. I'm
See,
sorry, because she
but
don't know
she
what she
might
wants.
be interested in you the most.
She don't know what she wants.
See, but then so then you don't have a roster.
Who, me?
See,
Yeah, so you don't have a roster.
But he's you
I
lying.
don't have a roster right now.
I know
So,
you lying.
As a human, no, as humans,
I don't have one right now.
He ain't lying.
I don't. I'm not lying.
So no, as
Right
humans,
now.
what I'm saying is humans. I've
Oh,
had
right.
Today.
All right, we gotta wrap it up, y'all. We gotta wrap
You
it
got
up.
wrapped up.
All right. So it got pretty heated, y'all.
that was good.
That was good.
Part 3.
This was fun. This
So,
was great. You were great.
Part 2.
What's part 2?
It was good to sit next to you.
Right. Part 2. I hope you guys liked it. It's your boy Josh with Whoa There.
Before you do that,
Oh wait.
thank you guys for coming.
Thank you guys.
And it was a pleasure to have you. And it was a lot different than what I thought it was going to be, honestly. And it is actually was kind of smooth. And thank y'all for being honest.
Yeah, slide in them DMs, y'all. Like,
DM.
yeah, like that'd be great.
Really? Is that the
All right.
plugging
No, thank you.
Send us
Right.
out, Justin.
Now look, should I plug my Instagram now? Like,
So this was a very healthy topic compared to the last one. So we got the female opinions and feedback.
I'm not gonna do it.
So we need to have a part 3, I would think, just to kind of finish on some of the topics that we couldn't fit in due to time.
I'm cool with this. I like this a lot more than I thought. I ain't gonna lie. It's good.
All right. Follow your boy Joshua.Ramsey on Instagram. Anybody else?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram, the_break_man7, and on Facebook, Devion.Hicks73. Do real estate, you want to buy or sell, holla at me, slide my DM. I don't really care. What's up?
You can just follow me. You know your boy BT. I'm him.
Oh, okay.
Got one?
Well, I am at your favorite ESQ on Instagram, so I welcome.
You can follow me on Twitter too at JRambo1227. All right, we out over there.
Whoa there.
Well,